The Lakers Nightcap has arrived, folks. It has arrived. Boy, what have I got in store for you tonight? So, I had said on the post game that I was going to bring some special tequila. I'm not gonna probably have more than probably one, but I did want to give a shout out to my one of my employees. Got this from me from Mexico. It's called Tequila Real Deb and Jamo. I'm not a tequila connoisseur, but I hear it's pretty damn good. So I'm gonna christen this evening. I got my shotgun shell here again. I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot. One for the homies, one for the crowd, and one for the continuous death of the LA Lakers in the 2024 season. Whoo, smooth. That's pretty good, actually. I'm impressed. So, the Lakers lose tonight, and they didn't just lose. They got shellacked, really from the beginning to end. Hey, Z, how you doing? It's looking like I'm going to be solo tonight. I mean, it is a solo show. Every now and then Sean or Gerald might show up, but again, this is supposed to be the nightcap. This is supposed to be something where if you're just kicking it at home, about to go to sleep a little bit, maybe a midnight sleeper, something like that. You know, this is the kind of show you want to watch to kind of allow yourself to just go off into the night. Lakers in 5. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for always the ongoing support. Xbox, thanks for. Hey, look, man, I wouldn't do this unless you guys wanted it. Believe me, it was never my intent to do a solo show, but there were a lot of requests, and I thought, when the crowd wants what they want, you got to give them what they want. That's the whole point of entertainment. And salute to you in Australia. I'm going to be going with the old reliable right now for my nightcap, putting ice in a glass. I'm going to do a little rum action. For those of you who want to get a drink going, by all means. And then I'm going to mix it with a nice soda. There we go. I always love the sound of drinks being made before I drink it. But I know you're here for other things. You're here for the details, baby. So, brandy's good, Darren. Brandy's good. I always have that when I go visit my friends down south in the United States. When I say south, I'm talking about Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina, that south. They make some good stuff out there. Thanks a lot, JY. I really do. Thank you so much. I had a chance to do some digging, and we've discussed the issues with the Lakers. Again, for those of you who don't know, who are here late, didn't watch the game, I'm sure you probably already know this, but I'm just going to reiterate it. The Lakers lost 135-119 to Houston. Jared Vanderbilt got ejected tonight for being the second guy, always the second guy, getting caught for hitting that jackass after his continuous Draymond Green antics. But the main issue tonight is, I ran some numbers here, folks, and you guys have, I've been adamant about the issue with the lineups of Taurean Prince, D'Angelo Russell, and Austin Reeves. So there were 3 lineups tonight with those 3 with LeBron and AD, and one obviously at the beginning of the game, one at the beginning of third quarter, and then parts of the second quarter. So the point differential when those 3 were playing with, when they were playing with LeBron and AD, which is basically the starting lineup, was 54-36. So with that lineup in, Taurean Prince, Austin, D'Lo with LeBron and AD, that lineup was outscored 54-36. And I just thought it was funny because what was the final score? 135-119. So those guys cost you 16 points and you lost by 16. Again, my plan wasn't for it to work out like that. I was going to do it just to test it tonight. So it's very interesting that the same point differential between those or with that lineup ended up being the final score difference in the end, which is, I don't know. I'd like to think that I know what I'm talking about. Gerald and I and Sean and all the crew, but I'm still going to be known as a armchair quarterback. Maybe it's harder than I think. Maybe you got to be there to understand what's going on. But this team is an absolute disaster, and it starts with Darvin Ham. I've seen it the last couple of weeks. It's actually getting worse. And I know there's some of my good Laker friends out there mentioning things like, last year after the trade deadline and parts of the playoffs. Guys, I saw Mike Brown coach pretty well in 2012. Matter of fact, I was a big supporter of his in the playoffs. I thought Powell and Kobe in that Oklahoma City Thunder series actually cost the Lakers the win in that series. I was very adamant about it. The problem is that was last year, or that was the year before. I'm talking about this year. Darvin Ham has disintegrated this year. You cannot use last year as some kind of stepping stone for Darvin Ham. Last year is gone. There's no last year anymore. As of right now, Darvin Ham is the worst coach in the NBA. And if the Lakers do not get rid of him, this thing will start to get derailed much, much quicker and much, much crazier. So if any of you have any comments, any questions, please feed them my way. I'll do my best to answer them here. Again, I think it's going to be important that we start some dialogue here and figure out what possible solutions there could be after, if they have the guts to do what we've been saying to do, which is get rid of Ham. Darvin Ham is just getting out-coached. Yeah, so getting out-coached, Bloodhound, is the least of the issue, actually. It's not actually being out-coached as much as his stubborn lineups, his stubbornness, his inability to call timeouts at the right time, his inability to show any leadership, either vocally or physically. I'm not looking for someone who's John Calipari, where they're in it every second of the day. But the guy shows I don't feel anything from him, and we never have. With both Bucks and Wizard Fire. Ham is now the worst coach. Yes, I agree, Z. No doubt. And now, honestly, I still would have picked Darvin Ham because Adrian Griffin had a 30-13 team. If the Lakers were 30-13, I don't think we'd be complaining right now as much. So Adrian Griffin, as bad as he was, his team was still 30-13. Lakers, they're going to be 41-41 before this is all done, according to what's going on right now. So, that's with two great players on your team. So let's see here with the Bucks. Let me see 1 second. I want to catch up with them. LeBron said in an interview that the skid was at the last 2 minutes of the first. He didn't say it, but it was the lineup with no AD, no LeBron, no Austin, literally D'Lo on the bench. Yeah, I remember that lineup. It almost looked like he was playing a preseason game with that lineup. And his excuse might be that he was trying to rest LeBron and AD. Okay. Mr. Ham, you're not a good enough coach to sit both AD and LeBron. And your instincts and your feelings will tell you a lot of times that there's something wrong. You don't really need to be an analyst. You don't need to be this dissecting type person. This goes for anything in life, not just a basketball game. But when I saw the lineup where there wasn't an AD and a LeBron tonight, the first thought I had was, what in the hell are you doing? How are you going to think this is going to go the right way? If you're worried about AD and his groin, then why are you playing him? If you're available to play, play. If not, just cut the fat already. I mean, just cut it. So you can't use that as an excuse. No one told you not to play those two guys at the same time, and you did it, and we all saw the result of it. You keep putting in the same lineup that has a so this the stats, in case you didn't hear me say a couple times last week. The Lakers, when Reeves, Torian Prince, and D'Angelo Russell are playing at the same time with LeBron and AD, they allow 1.3 points per possession. 1.3. If you look at those stats, it's pretty bad. It's all time bad. That means every time there's a possession, this was by 100 possessions, they allowed 133 points. So no matter what, these guys are getting almost a point and a half every possession against that team. So they're basically almost getting a basket almost every other time. Every other time they're getting a basket, if you factor in how many possessions there are in the game. And I need a drink. Yeah, I just started reading a little bit about the Rondo situation. I don't know what the hell's going on with Rondo. He always has been peculiar, but I actually was surprised to find out that he would do something like this. Maybe we shouldn't have. Pasquale, hi Joe, first time Mavs fan here. Welcome, excuse me. Welcome, Pasquale. We appreciate you being here. First, man, I hear from Lakers fans you all need shooting. Would you take Tim Hardaway? Oh man, that's an interesting question. I'll take any shooter at this point. Problem there is what's Dallas going to want, and if it's any kind of draft capital, it's not going to be possible. If they want to take, if you came and told me Tim Hardaway straight up trade for Rui Hachimura, I would consider that. But I think if Dallas was to make that trade, they'd probably want some kind of draft capital. This is kind of how it works. So I don't know if necessarily that's going to really do much for either team, actually. Because anytime somebody wants to trade somebody, they want to get something extra back. Unless they're a contending team, which Dallas is. But I don't really see Rui Hachimura or even an Austin Reeves making that much of a difference. I think it would end up being kind of like a lateral move at that point for both teams. At least that's my opinion. Brown for Rui is the only way. Brown, I think Bruce Brown is overrated. Always thought he was overrated. I think he hit a little stride there at the end of the year last year against Denver, which isn't a surprise because most of the time when you have good players that are on a contract year, they usually play above their heads. And for me, the fact that he signed in Indiana, which is a pretty darn good team, and then got traded before he even finished the season goes to show you that maybe his value isn't that good. And again, even if they do, fellas and ladies and gents, how do we know this coach is going to play them the right way? He hasn't been playing anybody the right way this year. It's been a total catastrophe. So it doesn't matter. It does not matter. You have to get rid of Darvin Ham. Even if it's Phil Handy finishing the season, get that guy out of there. He's bad for morale. He's bad for your brain. He's bad for your enthusiasm. He's bad for everything. The worst Laker coach hire. And that says a lot, folks, because the Lakers have been hiring some duds the last decade. He is the worst Laker hire in my Laker fandom, which has been 33 years. In 33 years. And I saw Mike Dunleavy, which wasn't a bad coach, Randy Fund, which was previously the worst one, but he didn't have any players when he was coaching. You had Dale Harris, you had Luke Walton, you had Byron Scott, you had Mike Brown, you had Mike D'Antoni. I mean, these guys have been going through bad coaches at the worst times, like M&M's. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, the refs. You see, the thing with the refs is they don't. I don't know. I seriously don't know what's going on. It's easy to just say things are fixed. I don't think anything's fixed. There could be a crooked ref. There's always that chance. I'm not saying, not being naive to that, but I just don't think the current structure of how they officiate is working anymore. I think there needs to be a reinvention. and it needs to, and they need to sit down and really figure out what the hell is going on here. And really, it starts with this pansy ass league, this soft ass league where any kind of emotion is a detriment to your team. Okay, it's banter. Okay, you're not punching and throwing and having Jeff Van Gundy hanging on Alonzo Mourning's ankle type fiasco. A little push here, a little, shoulder here. Let him play. Let him play. Just let the thing go sometimes. But no, we got to kick people out. We got to give them flagrant ones, flagrant twos. I have to watch LeBron again for the 50th time this year act like he just got hit by a Scud missile. Like, seriously, LeBron, like, get the F up already, dude. You're 6'8", 260 pounds. Get up. You used to play football. You would have played in the NFL if you didn't play in the NBA. Stop acting like you're getting hit by a truck. Get up. And that's just another, those are small little things that create this like inferiority thing with this team and allows the opponent to go on. These guys are just going to bitch out and just fall and act like they're doing cartwheels from the pain. I mean, come on, guys. Get with it here. Get with it. I'm tired of looking at the same thing over and over again. LOL, by the way, it's Joe Soro, not Gerald Glassford, hosting right. No, I'm Jared Glassford tonight. So you got a problem with that? I'm identifying as Gerald Glassford tonight. Jared Glassford. And if you say no, I'm going to kick you out. Yeah, I said it. How's that, G? You like that? Hold on. I got a better name for you all tonight. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah. There, how about that one? Is that better? Magic Man just did on the post game. What happened? What did Magic Man do again? Do you not say something that's not true? Magic Man just did on the post game. Did not say something that's not true. Oh yeah. We're truth. We're the truth serum here, baby. We tell the truth and only the truth. So help us God. I'm having another drink here. You can never go wrong with rum and Coke. Well, in this case, Pepsi. The reason why the Lakers are trying to get Murray so he can put pressure on the defense and help Braun. Lakers all day, that might not be what it is. If you hadn't watched the game, I would suggest you find it online and download it. I saw what Murray did against Luka Doncic, and it wasn't pretty. Now, I know it's Luka Doncic. He's good and all that. But come on, man. You're an NBA player. You got that kind of athleticism. You got any pride? You let someone drop 73 points on you? Come on, man. Can't let that happen. I mean, Doncic is good. He's not that good. I don't think Murray would make a difference anyways, guys. Again, I have to reiterate this over and over again. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as Darvin Ham is setting the rotations, the only way, and I said this on the postgame, the only way you can combat the idiocy of Darvin Ham's coaching is if you got Luka and Giannis on this team without giving up LeBron and AD. You do that, and you have a chance. You don't get something like that, this is going to be a problem. I highly recommend LeBron and AD go talk to Rob Pelinka and tell him and his boss, whatever she's doing up there, this ain't going to work. And if we're going to lose, we might as well try and fix something while we're losing. Because if you continue the setup now, you are not going to win. Not with this guy. So do we fire Ham at the trade deadline? I'd fire him right now. Now what's going to happen is the Lakers are going to be in Atlanta tomorrow. And Atlanta is always, and I've been watching games for years, right? Atlanta was always like the Atlanta, Orlando, Miami trip always was that trip where they always like went 1-2 at best. They rarely would sweep that. Orlando, Miami, Atlanta. It's like that 3-hour time difference. They would usually play it 3 out of 4 games. Like they play back to back and then a day off and then, you know, play the third game on the fourth night. Of course, you know, the extracurricular activities in Atlanta are really, really fun from what I hear. Same thing in Miami. I don't know so much about Orlando, but that's usually probably why they don't do what they're supposed to do on that trip. And you're asking them now to beat Atlanta on the second leg of a back-to-back after getting their ass whooped by Houston. And by the way, Darvin Ham thought the brilliant idea of playing LeBron 37 minutes in a game that was done at the beginning of the third quarter. So what else are you going to tell me, folks? You going to tell me how great he was last year again? So now, what if they get blown out tomorrow? Now what? Because they got the Celtics waiting for them after this game. The Lakers have to win tomorrow. And then they're going to go to Boston. And usually they play competitive with Boston. So there's always a chance there. Just like how it was at Golden State. Lakers always play Golden State well. They always play competitive with Boston. But what happens if they get whooped tomorrow? How's their morale going to be? Are they going to go into Boston with all their guns together? Then what happens then, though? So let's say they lose tomorrow. Then they lose to Boston. Now what? Now you've just you had this amazing game on Saturday to start the road trip, and then you lose the next 3. How is their mindset going to be focused there? That's going to be a problem. I don't. Again, if we're holding our hopes for Bruce Brown and DeJounte Murray, I'm sorry, folks, you're going to be sadly disappointed. There's so many holes in this team. There's going to need to be a miracle on how this is going to play out. Yeah, thanks, G. I appreciate it. Slade McMasters is a name I made up on Facebook years ago. McMasters is the name of a character in the movie Tombstone. Slade is from a character from Beavis and Butthead. So I kind of merged them together. Y'all say Murray don't help, but we need his athleticism, his defense, his scoring. Yeah, but the thing is, at what price? Lakers all day. At what price? Okay, so if we're going to trade Reeves, a first round, they're going to want Reeves, something, and a first round pick probably for him. So how is that going to help? If you remove Reeves, again, Reeves struggles on defense, but he does have value on the other side. He does have value. He actually can get to the basket and create contact and get N1s. He's not being put in a good position. He hasn't really been put in good positions at all the last couple of years with Darvin Ham's rotations. Imagine if you had someone that could put him in the right positions. I think you'd be able to get him to play even better than he has now. But it's a lateral movement because of what we'd have to give up. We'd have to give up draft capital, which I don't agree to give up unless it's for a prominent player, which there's really no one out there that's prominent that's available, at least not right now. We might have to wait another few days to figure out what big name player wants to leave. Now, I'm not factoring in Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell. I don't know why. There's no reason for Cleveland to trade him now. You really have no one, guys. There's really no one. Pascal Siakam got traded to Indiana. That was probably the biggest name out of that whole group. He's in Indiana. So who would it be? Who is out there right now listening that has heard something about some big name that might want to be traded? I would like to know, because I've gone all over the internet. I haven't seen anything yet. Even if it does not help trade D'Lo, he's gone one way or the other. It doesn't matter if he's gone at the end of the year. Right now, he's the only guy that can score other than LeBron and AD. So until you find someone that can replace the scoring and play defense, you're asked out. You can't trade D'Lo. He can also handle the ball, and we already don't have guards, guys. We don't have a guard. Gabe Vincent's not playing, and Max Christie's not a guard. He can't handle the ball. Austin Reeves has ball handling duties. He's not a guard. So are you going to put LeBron at point guard again? A 39-year-old point guard again? Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. I take credit for mentioning his name, then telling all of you he doesn't move the needle far enough because of how bad this team is. I take credit. Gerald, you take credit almost 50 times a day. So what difference does it make now? Like every time something happens, you take credit for it. The sun comes up, and all of a sudden I get a message. Hey, I told you the sun was going to come up. And then when it goes down, you send me another message. Hey, didn't I tell you the sun was going to go down? So what difference does it make now at this point? Yeah, stand your ground. By the way, Gerald said that the ground is hard. Just remember that too. Daniel, what's up, man? You got a drink with you? For those joining late, I got my rum and Pepsi. I had a shot of this Mexican tequila. 100% agave azul. Ooh, I don't know what that means other than I know what an agave is and I know what azul means. It's blue. But so just trade Reeves. Trade Reeves for what, Daniel? Trade Reeves for what? Who wants our players? Who? Who wants Reeves? Who wants Rui Hachimura? Who wants D'Angelo Russell? The fantasy of Alex Caruso. Why would Chicago trade Alex Caruso? For nothing. They're going to want stuff, right? So, yeah. I had suggested a few months back, and Gerald, please, can you not take credit for this one since I brought it up? I suggested that if the Lakers wanted to get Caruso, they'd probably either have to eat the Zach LaVine contract, but then they'd have to send half the roster there, or eat up that last year of Lonzo Ball's contract to get him. That would be the only way. So there's nothing out there that's saying that there's anything like that happening. So we had Caruso, folks. We had him. He was a Laker. He was a Laker. He was a championship Laker. He was the closeout championship Laker. And they just let him go. So depressing. You guys just depressed me now. Why'd you have to mention Caruso? I have to have more drinks. Per Trevor Lane. What the hell does Trevor Lane know about anything? Even Shams doesn't know anything anymore. Woj, he knows a little bit. Sham don't know jack squat. That guy's rep has gone since the summer because everybody's closed everything off. The Gestapo, the NBA Gestapo has shut down the media. They control the media now. They don't allow them to ask any questions without bouncing them. They don't allow them to know anything unless they say it, 10 seconds before the PR people from that organization says it. So yeah, that's no thank you on that. I just don't see how Trevor would even come up with something like that. Who would tell Trevor Lane that something's going on? Who? He's a positive guy. Good for him. We're not positive here. We analyze what we see. You live better that way, by the way. When you're always positive, you can imagine things that are not good, that they're good. And that's a dangerous game. You got to be careful of that. Shams is the Riz god. Ooh. What does Riz mean, really? I've been hearing this word Riz. What does Riz mean? Not only that, but Kuzma too. Those three players right there. You had Kuzma, who was balling on defense. He wasn't shooting well like we wanted him to, but he was balling on defense, and he was a 6'10" guy doing that. So that was huge. Caruso and KCP, man, boy, did they screw that up, man. Imagine having Caruso, KCP and Kuzma in the playoffs last year. Because KCP was on Denver's last year, right? So now he's off that team. Imagine if you had those guys and Reeves and Rui. And it could work. Those players would still be Lakers because Rui wasn't part of the Westbrook trade. Reeves was a free agent. So now you would have had, obviously, you would have had a lesser LeBron by a couple of years, but you would have had a much more stacked role player situation. That one mistake, man, completely derailed the Lakers, man. It's so depressing. Riz is having game in the old days or being a smooth operator. What the hell's a smooth operator? You mean smooth operator? So am I a Riz? But what if I had game back then and then a game now? Am I a double Riz? Women do not have to work half as hard for their. Well, the reason why women don't. The reason why. I'm gonna have to hold on. I gotta put that in there, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me adjust this. Kurt, I'm gonna adjust it right now. Hold on. There we go. There's my new name. Riz McMasters. Gerald, that's a good one. A human cardboard. Hey, does he know we talk smack about him? Like, does he know people talk smack about him? I don't really pay attention to Trevor Lane too much because I don't go around listening to other people's shows other than our crew, right? Like EJ and Lakers in 5. So the one that irritated me today again was Mike Trudell. Here they're getting blown out and they're starting the third quarter and he's sitting there like with a smile on his face. Wait, what are these guys on? And then you look at the guys in the Sportsnet office, or I should say in the announcers whatever room, and they're like talking about this like, oh, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see what they do. Dude, they've been doing that all year. At what point are they going to go, man, this team is not going to do anything? But then, of course, somebody's going to go, you're fired. Get out of here. Is that how it works, guys? I got to fill up my drink. Already went through that one pretty quick. See, like wearing a new suit. I know the Gap kids. Oh, man. It's sad, too, because he's got a good voice, you know. He could have done some announcing and voiceover type stuff, but he had to show his face and his size XS suits. But anyways, let's talk about Atlanta tomorrow. Since everybody's on the Murray train, what's going to happen tomorrow if Murray goes off and just whoops the Lakers like Cam Whitmore did tonight? Oh, you didn't think I was going to bring up Cam Whitmore, huh? Cam Whitmore played 20 minutes and scored 18 points. And half his points were in highlight reel moments. Boy, did they screw that one up again. And I just saw the video of Rob Pelinka with one of the bus boys and Kurt Rambis on the other side calling Hood Schifino on the phone and saying, you're going to be a Laker. And I'm sitting there going, oh, man, it just got more depressing. And word is it was a Joey Bus decision. It was the bus boys' decision to get him. I don't believe that. I don't believe it for a second. I'd have to I have to see more of that video. It might be on the backstage Laker thing. It looked like that's what it was, a little snippet from that. But folks, you got another piece of evidence, if you needed some, on how much we know, how much we pay attention. Why do you think I like Stone Cold Hansen so much? Because that guy has the goods. He knows his stuff. Those guys are rare out there, folks. They're rare. When you get them, when you get that source, you harness that source. See, if it wasn't for us harnessing Stone Cold Hansen, he wouldn't show up when he can show up. Obviously, he's moving. He's moved. He's getting himself acclimated where he is now. But we forced him. We forced him to come in and out as he was moving because his information is invaluable. And we got more proof tonight that the Lakers not only in the last few years have given up on the KCPs, have given up on the Carusos, have given up on the Kuzmas, but they also gave up on drafting the best player available. And we were sitting there going, man, we just dodged a bullet not having to give New Orleans a draft pick. Last year, we were tinkering on last, and New Orleans was in first place. We were going through all those emotions. We ended up coming out roses. And not only did you come out roses, you had the ability to draft the fourth best player in the draft at the very least. At least when you compare them now. Wembanyama, Brandon, Scoot, Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore, number 4. You had a chance to get the fourth best player in the draft, and you got a guy wearing a velvet suit that was green. Shouldn't that have been a sign? He was wearing a green velvet suit with Sideshow Bob hair. And you thought that guy was going to be a better player because he works hard and because he does the right thing. Folks, there's a fine line between doing the right thing and doing the thing. And in the NBA, the difference between really, really good and good is as big of a gap as great and really great. It's that big. So, how much more losing can the Laker fan base take? Well, Lakers are going into Atlanta to face Trae Young, Murray, Capella. Is this a showcase now? Is everybody going to play really, really well tomorrow night to see if they might end up switching before next week? That will be a discussion that we can go in depth more tomorrow. But I will say this. I will say this tonight from the information that I know. Looks like LeBron is going to play, and it looks like AD is going to play. Now, the AD one, I'm going to wait on. We already know LeBron's playing because I think he's sort of hinted at it. But I'm going to wait till tomorrow on the AD thing. If AD doesn't play, that means the Lakers are for sure going to lose. If AD plays, we're going to have to wait and see how his body reacts to the second leg of a back-to-back after playing 3 out of 4 games. Or will be going into his third game in 4 days. Is Trae out? I'm sorry. I might have not gotten that information. Is Trae out? Gee, where are you? Mr. I know everything and I'm right. Is he out? Usually you're my roster updater guy. Yeah, that's good, Darren. Make sure you catch that one first. Make sure you log it too. Because if you don't, Gerald will come out and say, I said it first. That's how he works. Yeah, see, Bloodhound, and that not only would he have helped, but economically, you're talking about a guy that can drop 18, 20 points and you're paying him a couple $1 million. You have no idea. That's like a quarterback, like Brock Purdy for the Niners. They can stack their defense, stack their offense around him for at least 2 or 3 years until they have to pay him. You know, it's tragic how bad it is. Yeah, Trey, of course Trey's going to play. I bet you if Trey was out the whole year and this game came up, he would have found himself to play anyways. So where are we going here? Let's see what else you guys got. Where are we? So Trey. All right. The question now is, what is off guard? I don't know. Let's hope he plays defense like he played against Luka the other night. Then you guys will kind of get a little taste of Murray's kind of hot and cold. See, DeJounte Murray is a good player, but he's almost the same as our guys. They'll have good games, and role players are like that. That's just what happens. I don't know why Atlanta spent so much draft capital on him. Maybe they felt like no one was going to come to Atlanta. Maybe this was their only shot to get a really good player. Sometimes that happens. When you're Atlanta, when you're Milwaukee, when you're New Orleans and these kind of places, you have to overpay to get people to come play for you. It's that way. Is Lakers fast break Gerald or Sean? That's the real question. Alan, why do you always have these questions? Like it's always some like underlining questions or comments. What are you doing over here? The Lakers fast break is Gerald, Sean, and I. Every day. Now, John will come. He's kind of like the fourth guy now. And then Jamie Sweet and Laker Tom, because they're divas and they like to call their own times and shots, they're part of the crew too. Yeah, you can't put one over him. See, Kurt knows what's going on, man. Kurt Affair knows. He's current on the affairs for a reason. Cannot get one over on me. If you do, you die. Alan Magic was the king of fast break. Yeah, he got pretty mad tonight too. I think there was some words said, and of course, context was confused. Sean can get pretty testy. He can be pretty testy, so you got to be careful with Sean, folks. He does train. He trains a lot. Not a lot to do in Canada. I mean, Toronto's not a bad place. It's kind of like New York City in the north, but that cold weather does stuff to people, man. You got to be careful. So no, Trey's not playing tomorrow? Really? Okay. So I saw Magic play. I saw Magic play the last couple of years before he retired. I got into basketball like in 1991-ish, 90-91. That's when I started, and that was the last couple of years of Magic's career there. Magic won the MVP in 1990. They ended up playing Phoenix in the second round in that playoff. They got beat 4-1, and there was a lot of talk at that point that Pat Riley had burnt everybody out. I think they were tired. Everybody was kind of tired, the same message, same voice. And then the following year, it was supposed to be the Blazers going back to the finals, and the Lakers ended up upsetting them in the Western Conference Finals, and then that's when they met Michael Jordan. After that, he obviously was diagnosed with HIV, and then that was it. And then, of course, he came back in '96, which was an interesting couple months, but I never got a chance to see Magic in his heyday. I was too young to remember, too young to pay attention, too young to care. Wish I could have. I would have loved to do that. But I was fortunate enough to see the Shaquille and Kobe years, and man, did those years amazing. Yeah, Magic in '85. It's interesting. I was watching Winning Time the other day. I sometimes will just watch, because it's only 17 episodes. Sometimes I'll just watch it just because I really enjoyed the show, and I love the actors in it, and I just love parts of it so much. So I'll watch it every now and then from like 1 to 17 on a binge. You look back on that Laker dynasty, and it goes to show you how greedy you can get. They won in 1980, right? They won in 1982. And then they got whooped by the Sixers in 83 when Moses Malone got traded to the Sixers. And you kind of looked at that year, even though James Worthy was out, you kind of said, you know what? They just were too stacked. It was kind of like the 17 Warriors when they played the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's just too much talent there with Durant going to Golden State. But that was a one year hit for Philly. Then they faced the Celtics in 84, and if it wasn't for the Worthy pass, the Lakers would have beaten the Celtics all 3 matchups that decade. And they would have won back-to-back championships the following year. So you go through that what-if thing even more. They win in 85. They lose in 86 to Houston in the Western Conference Finals. Then they win in 87. Then they win in 88. Then they're 11-0 going into the finals in 89. This is Kareem's swan song. Magic. This is Magic's MVP year as well. And him and Byron Scott blow out their hamstrings. And they get swept by the Pistons. Brutal. So are you going to make up your mind now, G? He's playing, he's not playing. He's playing, he's not playing. What the hell's going on here? What do you mean you were answering my questions 5 minutes ago? What do you want me to do? How was one else to try this, Matt? No, not really. The sky hook is too unique. It's too unique, and it'll look better coming out of the hands of a 7'2" player versus someone who might be 6'7", 6'8". Ooh. Well, look who decided the show.
You know, it's so weird that I always have to go ahead and I'm editing you in audio, and then I have to watch you on video at the same time.
I was wondering when you want to come in.
I was just uploading the audio episode. That's why.
Well, look. Well, I'm sure everybody's happy to see you.
No, it's Lakers Fast Break AI. Yeah, they're wondering, is
Lakers
it Sean in the chat?
So the question was asked, who is Lakers Fast Break?
Sean, well, first off, it's my account. I run it, but I give Sean the information. We're doing the Netflix sharing password deal. So he comes in because he at times runs the show. So the thing is, though, when I'm hosting it, sometimes he comes in still as me, and then he answers things as me, or he answers things as, it gets confusing. I know. It's Sean. What can I say? I'm going to have to put my name when we're both on there at the same time, and he's logged in as me as well. I'm going to have to put my name behind every comment I make in the chat. I'm just going to have to do that. It gets tedious at times.
It's true that Gerald takes more crap if he is in the chat. No, actually, Gerald takes no. That's not true. Gerald worked in retail. And
I worked in car rental.
I worked in Hollywood. In a car rental place.
I worked in Hollywood. I dealt with a lot of crap from a lot of people.
This guy apologized enough times to cover all 8 billion people on the planet.
Yes.
And he's still apologizing. He apologized for like 15 minutes after we got off the post game tonight. I won't tell you why, but that's just what he does. So no, he gets beat up all the time.
A lot of good that did, Joe. A lot of good that did, Joe.
And I knew it was a waste of time.
Oh, it's like, believe me, you and I both know, as soon as we turned it off, we knew what was going to happen after that. It's just like clockwork. It's just like, okay, you can set your watch to it, Joe. That was going to happen.
It's never ending. Joe looking at my questions way too deep, like Ham looks at his rotations. I don't think Ham looks at his rotations that deep.
But Trey is. I was answering your question from a few minutes prior. Trey is playing. He was playing on Sunday, so just to let you know, he should be there for the game. So.
You know what needs to happen to these retail stores is someone's going to have to take it for the team. and then it'll stop. Well, what would have to happen is these places in LA, places in San Francisco, is if somebody finally unleashes hot fury on the flash mobs, and then at that point it'll stop. Gerald with that name is like a retired adult star. Good catch there, Kurt.
Okay.
I don't think Gerald's looked at it yet.
No, I missed it. Of course. Yep. There you go.
Well, retail's been dying.
I see it now.
Retail's been dying. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll get it out of there. Hold on.
No,
retail's been dying for a while, folks, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that when you look at buying things these days, what do you want to do when you buy things? Nice and easy. So you go on Amazon, you find what you want, you order it. You're sitting on your thumb with your hand, with the other hand in your other place, and waiting for the package to come.
I guess you do.
Yeah, we've created the laziest generation in the history of human existence.
Oh no, give us half a chance. We'll make it even lazier, man.
Now, the reason why I like Amazon, I'm not trying to diss Amazon, is I don't have to deal with waiting. I actually like going to the mall and looking at stuff. But the problem with the mall is there's not stuff there anymore. You go to a Foot Locker, you go to these shoe places when you wanted to go buy shoes. They don't have the shoes you want. Everything's black market now. Everything you have to, any kind of Kobe shoe, any kind of Jordan shoe that you want, either somebody buys them all out or whatever. Like there's nothing available anymore. So you have to order online, and then you start getting used to it. Sorry, Darren, what was your question? You said you're waiting? Could adults still start commit suicide? Did he hang himself?
No, he said he hung himself. He wants to make sure.
I don't get it.
The hung part.
Oh my God! Is that the best you got, Darren?
It's late. Cut him some slack.
Anyways, so,
he's already comparing Trevor Lane to Farrah Fawcett, so cut him some slack.
Farrah, I don't know how that.
He's had a lot to drink, I'm sure.
I don't know how that compares, guys. I really don't. But Gerald, what do you think is going to happen this week here? We're going to go into Atlanta tomorrow. I'm not very, very encouraged right now.
No, I'm not either. You coming off a bad loss. They played some minutes. AD is hurt. You're going in there. Atlanta, they have a day of rest. And the Lakers looked already tired coming off, and they already had a day of rest, and that didn't do them any good. They looked tired doing it after that double OT. Yeah, it's just going to perpetuate itself. It's just going to come down to it. The Lakers extended that Golden State game unnecessarily. Darvin Ham coached this game for the Lakers into a double overtime when it could have been one in regulation for the Lakers. He made some poor choices. It cost them. It allowed LeBron and AD to play 50 minutes each or close to it. Then you get a situation where they look gassed right from the tip, and it went downhill from there by a younger, faster, athletic team in Houston. And now you got to go and deal with Atlanta. The saving grace is Atlanta, even with everybody's favorite trading guy, DeJounte Murray. They're the 27th ranked defensive team in the NBA. So they're bad on the defensive end. Our saving grace could be if the Lakers absolutely can muster up enough strength. They just got to go ahead and go on the fast break. If they push the pace, they'll win that game because Atlanta's so bad on defense.
Will it matter, though? Even if they win tomorrow, will it matter?
Well, they'll lose in Boston. I think everybody's going to count that as a big L. And what do they do on Saturday? That's the thing. What do they do on Saturday? Who are they playing against? I forgot. I'm going to look it up right now.
This Saturday?
I believe so. That's their next game after
they're playing New York.
Boston. Yeah, they're playing New York. See, yeah, that's where it goes awry. And then Charlotte, that should be a win. But then this is the Lakers. So we'll see.
So it looks like if they can win tomorrow, it might actually be a 3-3 road trip then.
As of right now, no, Darren. He is listed as he's going to a game time decision. He is not 100% sure. He's going to try and make it, he says. LeBron says he's going to try and play.
See, Quinn Snyder's going to know how to run what he can run with this team. They're going to shoot probably 30, 40 threes because they know if we hit 15 to 23 pointers, we'll win the game.
And they're a bad team too. They've been an awful team this season. This is, even though they still have a lot of the core pieces from that finals run or the conference finals run, they are nowhere near that team now. They're well under 500. They look like they're headed for the lottery. And yeah, absolutely. It's just terrible. Alan says, can anyone tell me how Wood averaged 17? Yeah, he played on a really lousy Houston Rockets team. They were really bad.
He averaged 17 and 10. It's easy to average those numbers when you're on a bad team and you got a lot of minutes.
Eric, if they're lucky, they're going to end up at 500 on the road trip.
If they're lucky, I would say you're right, because they have to win tomorrow. Mm-hmm. They have to win tomorrow. If they lose tomorrow, then my earlier prediction of 2 and 4 is likely.
That the Charlotte game would be the only game that stands
out. I was worried about this Houston game. I was worried. I wasn't worried about Golden State. I thought they'd be competitive, and they had a very good chance of pulling it out. But I was worried about Houston, and Atlanta. In Atlanta is always a crapshoot because of just geographical issues. They just it's a 3-hour time difference. It's on the other side of the country. It's always that spot that always kind of is a little harder to focus on, because you're probably jet lagged and dealing with all that stuff. And then there is a nightlife in Atlanta that people like. So I'm going to say.
Well, before you go, I apologize.
That's okay.
Kurt actually asked a straight up question, a serious question for him for once. What's the defensive matchups? I almost went by and I didn't notice it because I was being surprised. Kurt is usually attaches a joke to it. But what's the defensive matchups against Atlanta? That's a good question. If we were smart, we would be putting Vando in the starting lineup because of the way he was playing. And in fact, he got a lot of rest today because he got kicked out. And, I would play him on Trae Young and then take your chances everywhere else.
I don't think he can guard Trae Young.
He's guarded Steph.
He can't do that. Trae Young's a different beast.
How different than Trae? How are their games so dissimilar?
I just don't think he can stay with Trae Young. Trae Young is shifty.
Okay. Then you're going to leave him in the hands of D'Lo or Austin?
I mean, I'd rather him go on Murray and just kind of shut him down if possible. Because I know that Snyder's going to just keep him shooting and going and shooting and going. So if you want to allow Trae to kind of get his a little bit and not have to worry about, you got to shut everybody else down and just let Trae kind of do his thing.
Okay.
At least that's my assessment on it. But yeah, Kurt Affair has been on fire tonight, by the way. And I just realized I can press show on the stream thing. I'm not used to the hosting side of things. I'm getting there though. I'm starting to get it.
You got it.
So you all know that proves right there that this is Gerald Glassford's world, and we're just living in it.
Well, thank you, Slade. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm back to normal now, by the way.
I saw that. No, it's funny because I pointed that out. You still had my name on there, and I was like, I don't think he wants my name on there. So I saw some new people there, and they're trying to.
I usually catch that quicker, but I was so busy with my drinks that I forgot to edit it.
I could just see some of because there were some Dallas fans earlier and much.
Oh yeah, he had chimed in and
he's probably looking at the title, not with Joe Soro, Lakers Nightcap with Joe Soro, and then seeing Gerald Glass. Why is Gerald Glassford hosting the Lakers
that was my
Nightcap
mistake. I'm usually good at catching that, but not tonight. But again, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. The nightcap is supposed to be something of a conclusion to the night. Most of you get all the information you need at the post game, and I want to make sure that that's still the primary here. But the nightcap is for us to kind of shoot the and again have a drink and just see if there's anything else that you want to bring up or talk about or anything like that. And again, Gerald, thanks for showing up. You're always welcome here on the show.
Appreciate it. It's so weird. I having to edit you in audio, and then I want you.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's all
simultaneous good. Stereo Joe.
No, it's good. It's good. Again, I appreciate you coming on. The dialogue's always funny. The comedy's always good. Again, thanks everyone for being here tonight. We will be back tomorrow at 11. We're usually going to be here on game days. If there's still a lot of cut and pasting on the show, you'll probably see some production value in increases here as time goes on, because I want to make this kind of a hangout. I would do a show an hour earlier if I could. Problem is, when we're having the 7:30 games, it's hard to have a 10 o'clock show. And I want to kind of have a show that's on a normal time, a regular time, so that everybody knows that we're on. Just think of me as the next Conan O'Brien, the Conan O'Brien of Lakers Fast Break. That's how I'm trying. That's where I'm going.
Well, they want you at night, late at night. They want you in the
That's
morning.
good. And again, the beautiful thing is you can listen to me the next day too. You don't have to stay up. You can watch it the next day. It'll be just as relevant the next day.
On audio. I'll try this. I just flooding that channel with audio. At some point in time, we have to make like a special channel for you, or maybe I don't know, maybe like
we'll make it work
or something like that. Do something for the audio audience. But yeah, I'll throw this in the audio channel as well.
We'll make it work. And again, for Gerald Glassford, myself, and all the Laker fandom out there, even the Maverick fans and whatever fans are out there listening, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for the nightcap. And until next time, I'll see you next time.